And I was asked about my interest in gathering my friend John's circle together recently to talk about his life once again, especially after John passed a couple of years ago. And my big interest came from John being so involved in all our lives over the 30 plus years we were in the circle, that the minute the thought entered my mind and I was asked, will we talk about the experience, it just lit up a whole swell of emotions, really all positive and deep and meaningful about all of our friendships within the circle over the years and how we supported John and how John supported us. And I never hesitated for a moment, given an opportunity to continue to share his story and to share our story of learning and being with each other and supporting each other over the years. And one of the wonderful outcomes of coming together recently was our commitment to keep talking and gathering as friends, especially after the long time we've all had around COVID. The chance to come back together and be together in person is just a wonderful opportunity. In some ways, I feel like John brought that back to us.
Just the conversations on, about John's meaning of just how they do whatever it takes, like no is not the limit, but no is like an answer to different possibilities. Just opening doors for other things. And yeah, I think it really touched me because, and especially like in this field, like a lot of people just put a limit on it, either because they don't know or because what they dealt with or what they see. And either they feel, like, okay, like these, people who have disabilities can't do as much, or there's not as much, that we could do for them because of the limit. But it helped me to understand that there is no limit, like just as far as at great advocacy. Wanted to get his own place, wanted to live by himself, and just not be where people deem him to be, but where his vision and how he communicated that, like even without words, I just thought it was extraordinary. I want to do more in this field, just as a compliance manager. Like I just see, the paper aspect of it, but I also want to shift my role and develop more and push for that advocacy of, just being with families and hearing what they want to say, and the individuals on what they say. So I'm not just looking at paper, but I'm also knowing what their dreams are.
Well, John's story was amazing and so inspiring and uplifting. We need to hear more of those kinds of stories. It really was a love story, though. It was about a group of people who fell in love with each other. They fell in love with John, and John fell in love with them, and they fell in love with each other. And so it was a great reminder to me as a person who tries to help people live a good life and have that kind of love in their life, that probably the best we can do as an organization is to set the conditions for people to fall in love, because that yields the kind of concern and protection and determination toward a good life in a way that nothing else does. So it's a good investment, I think. Toward the end of the realizations year, so it's been quite a while now, but where we spent an hour reflecting on, in our own life, what have been the conditions, under what circumstances did we fall in love. And when you really think about it, it's everything from surviving something horrendous together, right, which is just as powerful as anything else, to being the person who consistently showed up. You might not have even fallen in love in the beginning, but you spent enough time to fall in love, you know what I mean? And by being gracious and by being able to say how you feel about each other and all. And then we spent some time talking about, and what is a turn off right off the bat? Like you go, I got to get away from this person, never see him again kind of thing. And it was really insightful because we would talk about how we're trying to create the conditions, not necessarily for romantic love, although sometimes it is romantic love, but for love, because that's what causes us to act in ways that, people really need. So I think John's story was just a really clear example.
What stuck out the most was the father, when the father said the move to Oregon because at least it rains there and things grow in the rain. And it made me think about prototyping and learning journeys, and how when we go on learning journeys, we want a good day to walk. And there's been times when it just rains. It rains on parades. It rains on the parade that we're thinking we're going to get to go out, or we've made plans. But prototyping in and of itself is just see what happens. So we never really invite the rain. But I realized that on those rainy days, we bore the most fruit as it relates to what did we see later. So for when I think about Candace's life, we went to do a learning journey, and it rained that day, and we ended up meeting Mindy and Molly. And as far as my work is concerned, it just helped me to think about things differently when it comes to like me making plans and what prototyping really is. Prototyping is just try it, and whatever comes from it, a rainy day, a snowy day, there may be fruit because things grow in the rain. So that is always a good time. I'm going to walk away with something that enriches my soul, makes me think, makes me grow as a person, and then also something to just share with someone else. So this whole thing about the rain, things grow in the rain, I'm just stuck with me. So I've been saying it now, like things grow in the rain, things grow in the rain. So